This is 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester, Massachusetts, the Dr. Chris Radio of Horror program, with a recorded interview with actress model Mel Heflin, who is appearing in an upcoming movie called Catherine, as well as Predator Moon and a few other horror movies. And she's on the phone with us now to talk a little bit about her upcoming film, which is also on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, one of those two money-raising sites. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Melissa.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Please call me Mel.
Mel, what's the name of the money-raising site that is currently raising money for your vampire movie?
We're using Indiegogo.
Okay.
You can look it up under Carlos Dunn's Catherine.
That's the name of the movie.
Therin. On Facebook, it's without the E in the middle.
Okay. And this movie, you play a vampire in it, correct?
I totally do. My first vampire movie.
And what are some of the things you can tell us about the role and the character you play?
I play a character named Sandra, and my character is a blind, mutilated psychic vampire. That's about as much as I can say about it there. But it was a fantastic role to play. I had so much fun, and they're currently working on production right now, and I'm so proud of watching everything that I read in the script come to life from behind-the-scenes photos that are being posted, and it just looks like they're having a marvelous time.
One of the things...
Play the role.
One of the things you should do next time you got to play a vampire to get yourself more familiar with the world of darkness that vampires live in is go play the World of Darkness live-action LARP called Vampire the Masquerade.
I've heard of that before. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I play a vampire doctor in the game once a month out in Boston with my group of people.
How fun. That's really great.
It's a 4-hour live-action role-playing game, and the game was set up. The game was set up in the 1990s during the whole goth era of the 90s to be exclusively for role-playing, live-action role-playing, and not tabletop sit-down like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh wow! So you actually get to act out everything.
Absolutely. People wear costumes, put in their plastic, nobody there actually wears those god-awful plastic fangs. They wear the real custom fangs that Hollywood dentures are made of.
I have a pair of dental acrylic myself. They're really great. I can talk and drink or whatever I need to in them. It's pretty great.
There's a movie you're also filming called Catherine, where you play a character called Sandra you asked to talk about as well.
Oh, yeah, that's the one we've been talking about. I had such a great time on set with everybody, with Michelle Malky and Charles Bailey and Penny Shaw. And I could just, name off all the wonderful people that I got to work with. Tina Grimm recently posted a video from some behind-the-scenes footage that they filmed over the weekend. So be sure to check that out. Everybody's working really hard for this Indiegogo to get as much attention as we can, and we're going to produce such a great movie. I'm extremely proud to have been a part of this.
Cool. The other films that you've worked on are such as like Plan 9, which is yet to come out, actually, I think. I don't think that's even out yet, but that also has the famous angry video game nerd in it.
Right now, some friends of mine actually got me in on that one. So I really am not sure of the status of that one, but as for Predatory Moon, I know that they're working on the post-production of that now, and I'm extremely excited to see it come to festivals. I'm crossing my fingers so that maybe it'll see the light of day sometime this fall. That's just my personal hopes for it. The cast and crew, that was also as just really hardworking, incredible people. I am so fortunate to get to come on some of these sets where everyone knows their job, everyone knows what they're doing, and they also know how to have fun.
Considering that the bar in the original is set so incredibly low at being one of the most awful movies ever made, you definitely can't just go anywhere but up with the remake.
I think that's a pretty good ideal behind it. We can't do any worse than this, so let's do a remake of it.
What's the typical kind of role you seem to play in most of your films?
I get to play all different types of roles. I have yet to be pigeonholed. I almost got pigeonholed as a lesbian, though. There was 3 different roles almost back-to-back over the course of a year where people were asking me to play a lesbian. So that's probably the closest to playing a typical role for me. I normally get to go everything from preacher to bitchy woman to college student to these dynamic characters where they're so vulnerable in the beginning and they become strong people, or they really give in to evil towards the end. So I'd say the most typical role would be lesbian, though. I've played a lesbian pirate. I've played, boobs are great, so I can't really complain about being pigeonholed into a lesbian role.
Don't stop. Go into more detail about this lesbian characters that you play. And what makes them a lesbian in the movie.
Well, the Pirate Maidens trailer, it only made it to the trailer part. I was really hoping that it would have become something so much more. But the only thing in the trailer is a kissing scene. A quick kiss. But
oh, darn.
Sword fight. I got the sword fight. So that was pretty great. Like this tough, red-headed lesbian pirate sword fighting this guy, and he's like coming on to her in the middle of the sword fight. Played by, I can't even remember his name. Jimmy Dempster.
Okay.
So he's like coming on to me in the middle, and then I return back with him. A poet swan like you, and I take one night with a poet swan like you, and I take my own life. So I'm pretty disgusted by that at this point, I'm assuming. It was just a very short script since we were only filming the promo, hoping to get crowdfunding, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day. What is, out of all the roles that you played, your favorite role, and what do you enjoy doing more? Do you enjoy being like the hero, the villain? Do you enjoy getting killed, bloody, disgusting, and gruesome, or stay clean?
Oh my goodness. I love it all. I love getting covered in blood, naked.
Where were you when I was in high school?
Yeah, unfortunately, you had mentioned to me that there's not many photos of me naked and bloody on the internet, but I think that the directors kind of don't want to give away one of the best scenes in the movie.
No, not just. It's not so much the nakedness. It's more of a turn on to see a girl covered in blood. That's so much more turn on than seeing a naked woman.
For sure.
As a horror fan.
Definitely. I'm planning a whole bunch of photo shoots for conventions this year. I've been sketching them out, so I'm hoping that one of these photographers here in Florida or on my travels will be willing to take photos of me naked, covered in blood, so we'll have to see.
Oh, I'm sure that won't be hard to find.
I'll have to twist someone's arm.
I mean, geez, the world is just populated by men who don't want to take pictures of naked, bloody women.
I just have so much fun with all the different roles I get to play. I always enjoy playing a hero, and the idea, every time I live at the end of a movie, it's always in my head that, will this lead to a sequel? Death scenes are definitely a big thing for me. The first movie I did, Scarlet Rain, I did a death scene, and I'm completely naked hanging out of a window. So that, is one of my favorite things to date. Scarlet Rain is out now.
So as long as the nudity is tasteful in the movie, you don't mind it. But if it gets ridiculous and way more than you're willing to do, then you put a stop to it, right?
I mean, how much are we talking here? There's a couple of movies where I've been naked throughout the entire thing.
Wow, like that chicken, that actress that's in that vampire movie from the 80s, Life Force?
Yes, completely naked throughout the whole movie. I don't think, there's one in particular in my mind. I'm not sure if I can say anything about it or not, considering it's not out, but I don't think I wore stitch clothes the entire time.
I must find this movie.
I don't know what's taking it so long to come out. But
I think the director is having too much.
I will have more fans everywhere.
I think the director is having too much fun editing the movie. What's the name of this movie?
I don't know if I can say, considering it's not out yet.
But you didn't give away the plot line, so.
I worked on it the past few years that aren't out, and it's like, what is taking so long? Distribution is such a big deal. I wish that more production companies would speak it in the beginning.
What movie have you finished that is completed, that is out for people to see, that you can talk about?
Which ones are out? Scarlet Rain is out. Dead Woman's Hollow is out. I'm not looking at my website right now. I have a list of the movies I've done and where to get them, the ones that are out right now.
Scarlet Rain looks interesting. It concerns a mystery, legend, and intrigue surrounding the weather pattern. It involves a betrayed witch's curse, and it has a pretty awesome cast of just gorgeous looking women and great talent.
Oh yeah, for sure. I met Sarah Snyder on that movie. Well, I met everybody on my first movie, Scarlet Rain.
Cool.
That was, mind blowing. I was 19 years old working on my first movie, and it just completely blew me away of the things that go into it.
Do you want to stay in the independent film genre, or do you want to expand outward and do larger things, get into larger projects?
I'm a little bit torn. I have stayed out of SAG for so long because I love what I do. I love working on the independent side. I like being able to play lead roles, whereas if I were to join SAG, I don't believe that I would play as many lead roles, because it's just so much more competitive when you get higher up. And I'm sort of enjoying being a big fish in a small pond. There's so many people that I was on the phone with the director just yesterday that I was looking at the production, and I was like, if you want to bring me in, I'm available. I had a cancellation over the next month, and I'm available to be brought in at the moment. And he was like, my movie? Wait, I've seen your website. Are you sure that you would be okay with joining the movie? I'm like, totally. Like, I'm not unapproachable. I may have done a lot and may have a decent amount under my belt, but I'm not the kind of person that is going to be like, ew, no, that's some crappy independent film, get away from me. No, all productions are fun in their own way.
Let the questions keep getting spicier and spicier.
Totally, I'm down with that.
Do you find yourself do you find yourself drawn to horror movies? Because everything on your profile is pretty much horror movies.
I fell in love with horror ever since I was a little girl. My mom actually has such a huge influence on my career.
You're the best.
When I was a little girl, I remember watching Tales from the Crypt, and at some moments hiding under the blanket. And my mom explained to me, that guy really didn't just get his leg chopped off. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about, Mom? And she explained it to me, and I was just like, wow, there's people that do this, and they don't get their legs chopped off. Like, it's all just fake stuff. And the more she explained it to me, the more fun it sounded. It sounded like a big game of pretend. And then I get a little bit older, and I don't remember if you remember, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I'm very well aware of that.
I've seeing every episode twice at least. And that, when I was a kid, I was like, how do I get on this show? Like, it's all kids acting on these horror shorts. It's so fun. And I never got on Are You Afraid of the Dark, of course, but I always aspired to. And when the opportunity came up for me to work on my first horror film, it was like I was a child again. Imagining just the phone ringing and Are You Afraid of the Dark calling and be like, hey, we need an actress. Come on. The sort of the feeling it was. Just like, oh my God, are you serious? I also branched out a little bit to do some science fiction roles.
Yep.
I worked on an episode of Moody and the Spider Queen, and I'm looking forward to working on movie 2 and 3. It's going to be an incredible time. I don't know if you're familiar with the Moody comics, but
no, go into
they're not for everybody.
Go into explanation about it.
Well, Mooney has huge boobs, and they are seen in the comics. I believe I'm saying this right when I say that they were sold back in head shops in the 70s. So they're not a comic book for a kid. They are, they're a little bit saucy, and the books are as well. And for me, I love them. I'll read them on a plane. I love the books, and they're just the right amount of, I don't know what the word for this is, but they're very saucy, and there's a lot of
sex.
So I've really been enjoying, playing with, my love is in the horror genre, but I've loved dabbling in other genres like fantasy. I recently did a Jinn movie, Jinn for Genie, and it's called St. Lindsay's Pictures Presents Jinn.
Uh-huh.
And I play Doris Postino, the lead character, and, you're going to find this out, just by looking at the poster, but I find myself in possession of a genie lamp. But every wish comes with a price, of course.
Of course.
So, it's like a fantasy mix of horror, and that's going to be premiering in June, and I cannot wait to go and see that in theaters.
Cool.
The casting crew that I worked with.
Now, do you stay in Florida to do all your movies?
Oh, no. I travel all over.
Have you been to Massachusetts or New England?
I have not been in New England.
That's where you should definitely get your next movie done.
Ohio recently. I do a lot of movies in the Pittsburgh area. I love Pittsburgh. Fries on a salad is an incredible idea. DC area, Richmond area, and I did the most recent one in Ohio. So I'm willing to travel all over, and I have so much fun. That's one of my favorite parts about being an actress and being in the field that I'm in, being able to just pick up and travel and meet new people and have fun all over the place.
You should definitely look into the New England Film Entertainment website to see about films that are being made here in New England, because we got films being made here so often because of
I love that.
because of the tax I'm a
Florida girl now.
Because of the tax break we have, they get a huge percentage off of the budget.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Or when they file for their tax return, they get a big break back.
Yeah, if you know anybody in New England looking, I'm totally fine with anybody contacting me.
Off the top of my head, no, but again, you can look at the New England Film website and check it out.
Okay.
That would probably be the best place. The Catherine poster, by the way, who is that you on the Catherine poster?
That is not me on the Catherine poster.
Okay.
I believe that was designed by a graphic artist.
Okay.
I believe we're going to have several different one-sheets coming out.
Gotcha.
They're so busy in production right now. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I do know that they're getting made, though.
What would you have to say is your number one horror movie of all time that you love?
Oh, goodness. Number one horror movie.
By the way, tonight we're playing Tales from the Dark Side, the movie soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I really love zombie strippers.
Ugh. Oh.
I know it's so funny, but it has such an indie feel to it.
Oh, there's no...
It was an indie film. Am I correct?
I think so. I mean, there is no really fantastic, great talent in that, and Robert Englund does not really shine in that movie whatsoever.
No.
That's not a movie. That's not a movie I would say like, oh, Robert Englund's in it, and that's like that doesn't sell that movie at all. and a god awful, shriveled up, underweight Jenna Jameson doesn't help either.
For me, it's a good mix of everything. It's a mix of the gore didn't get too spontaneous and ridiculous as much as I would like.
Yeah.
But the nudity was abundant. It was just hilarious. I like those kind of indie movies that you can, like the names of them, you can sit back and laugh and be like, zombie strippers?
Yep.
What the hell is this? And then you take a look farther and you're like, it's watchable. It's not bad. It's fun.
One of your
I don't know if you saw the movie Loch Ness.
Yes, I did.
I really like that one. I'm not much for watching a movie with accents, though, and I realized it took place in Loch Ness.
Yep.
I just have a hard time understanding the people.
Oh, I understand,
But
definitely.
It's fun, like a Loch Ness Monster movie.
Yep.
Loch Ness Monster's never really been seen, so it's kind of absurd, which I love.
A bit, yes, definitely.
Ridiculousness.
I definitely see that being, like the type of creature you wouldn't really, and I saw that movie on the VHS, back in the old VHS tape days, and Europe was like, what the hell is this? And but no one's ever made like a Hollywood live-action, big-budget Loch Ness Monster kind of movie.
What I think is funny is the monster has never been seen. There's theories about it, and there's legends about it, but how are you going to build a monster based on a silhouette seen from 1,000 miles away in a photo? Well, not 1,000 miles, but maybe meters. No, I just think it's fun.
Definitely. One of your best, in my opinion, gothic-looking pictures is the one in from Model Mayhem, where you're sitting on the couch with the raccoon.
Those people were so fun to work with. They had a taxidermy raccoon.
That's really cool.
And
yeah, I was going to say, that raccoon would have eaten you alive, whatever. Raccoons are not very well-trained animals.
I love raccoons. I love possums. I love all animals. And I wish that it was alive, though. I wish it was a tamed raccoon that I could actually pose with. I think that would be so great.
You're funny. I want to sit in a room with a rabid animal.
Oh, totally. I totally would.
Oh, my God.
I have photos from when I was younger of me holding baby lions and tigers and snakes, and I have pictures of me holding alligators. And I'm a little bit of a daredevil. I like doing extreme things. I used to snowboard when I was younger, and I just love to push myself just a little bit. And when people see the shot, of me like laying down naked in the snow, they're like, "Oh my goodness, you laid down naked in snow? That's crazy." And I don't think of that particularly as being a daredevil move, but
oh, the nude pictures of you were actually in the snow for real?
yeah, those are actually me laying down in the snow.
Jesus Christ.
It was a little chilly.
Yeah, I would.
That was my first day of my trip.
I would say so.
Yeah, me leaving sunny, 80-degree weather here in Florida, and then my first day in Virginia is me laying down in snow. That was the very first day of my trip.
That's
and,
insane.
You know, it was like, how can I top this?
That's crazy.
That's what it comes down to whenever I do these shoots in between traveling for films. A lot of times whenever I decide to drive rather than fly, I will stop along the way, you know, leave a few days early and stop along the way and meet up with some photographers. And that was one of those trips that's like, okay, there's no way I can beat this.
Wow, that's insane. Well, why don't you give out your website name real quick and the name of the Indiegogo campaign again?
Okay, my website is www.melheflin, melheflin.weebly, weebly.com. And the Indiegogo is Carla's son, Catherine.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show with us, Mel. We really appreciate it.
Oh, I had tons of fun. Thanks for having me.